Hi everybody. Like a lot of people in HCC, I've been reading the Bible in a year, and it being still relatively early on in the year, and I started a little bit late, I've been wading through the first 5 books of the Bible, and within them there's this huge story of Israel wandering in the wilderness. It takes up some of Exodus and most of then Leviticus, Numbers and Deuteronomy. It's this time where Israel was led by their own opinion. And their own opinion was real. You see, there was times where they had no water or they had no food. There were times when they were threatened. There was times when they got to the edge of the promise of God and saw the dangers, saw the giants in the land. It was all real. Those were real difficulties. And yet time and again when I read those books, I am overwhelmed by how ridiculous their opinion was, how selfish, how focused it was on their immediate need instead of the God who had already done so much for them. Our own opinion can really destroy us. Our own opinion can lead us to places we don't want to be. And what their response was natural. It was a natural response. A natural response brings about natural results. You know, they panic when they get to the promised land for the first time of the difficulties they faced, and then none of them ever enter. And I believe God is after supernatural responses that bring supernatural results. Last night, our Prime Minister laid out something of the beginning, I guess, of our exit strategy. And I guess I was quite shocked at straight away, like within minutes, the news and social media are just full of people's opinions. A lot of them may be based in reality, be based on real things, hopes and fears and worries and concerns. And yet it's just natural response, and all it's going to bring is more mess, more difficulty, more confusion, more fear. It doesn't result in faith or grace or forgiveness or kindness. And I believe for us today as the Church of Jesus Christ, we need to look for supernatural responses to the things going on in our world, because they're going to bring supernatural results. I read this morning of a girl in Iran, and the police came to arrest her sister, and she was begging the police not to take her sister, but they arrested her because they were a Christian family. She was arrested because she had been talking about Jesus and handing out Bibles. And the sister fell to the floor after the police had taken her sibling away and wept. But her mum came to her and said, "No, we do not weep. Let's stand and let's worship Jesus." That's not a very natural response, is it? That's not my opinion. I'm sure she didn't want to do that at that time. And yet she said that when she stood there with her mum and her dad and they just worshipped God despite everything going on, she received strength and she received courage. She felt and experienced His presence. A couple hours later, she was arrested as well. Guys, all this stuff's going on. There's going to be terrible decisions made and good decisions made. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have our own opinion, but we should not put it on the throne. What we need to do is what the Israelites should have done, which is when they faced no water, where they faced obstacles like the Red Sea, when they faced giants in the land. They say, "God, I'm scared. But what do you say? I put my trust in you. I remember what you have done. And I want to be a person who supernaturally responds." Can we respond supernaturally? I want to be a supernatural person. And I believe we are going to see days of miracles and healings. That's supernatural. But surely it starts and it fuels and it's run by me forgiving, me choosing grace, me not letting my anxieties or hope be based on the world's decisions, but on who God is. The supernatural. I'm just going to pray that the supernatural might fill your life. So Holy Spirit, we come before you today. And Lord, as We are moved by different people responding with good ideas and good opinion as to whether what is happening in our nation should or shouldn't. Well, whether it's right for schools to go back or not, all of this stuff. God, we choose instead to be supernatural. We choose instead to be filled with the Holy Spirit and to start in the place of worship. And Lord God, would you, as we start in that place, would you transform our thinking? Would you transform our words? Would you transform our actions? That ultimately, whatever happens, whatever goes on, we would be those who seek first your kingdom. And we'll be those who, choosing to have supernatural responses, see supernatural results. That we see lives change. We see families saved. We see bodies healed. We see provision come. We see Jesus glorified in our nation. Amen. Bless you.